Passes contain two types of partitions, object partitions and light partitions. Partitions are essentially the strongest form of groups in XSI. So whatever shader, override, or property is added to partition will win out over any other group or propagation rules. Each pass contains two types of partitions by default. The background object partition, which contains all the renderable objects in the scene. So things like curves or implicits are not shown here because they do not appear at render time, so we don't have to bother with them in the context of partitions. And we've got the background light partition that contains all the lights in the scene. Partitions are also special in that they are mutually exclusive groups. So an object can only be found in one partition per pass. And this is basically the mechanism on which we create custom passes. So, for example, we want to create a simple matte pass for the sphere. The way we would go about doing this is we would select the object we want to isolate and put it in its own group, its own partition. So with it selected, partition new. Now we get the partition PPG and we can just name the partition to something relevant. And you can also see on the partition PPG you've got various visibility settings for that partition. So now, because the groups are mutually exclusive, the sphere has been pulled out of the background object partition and put into the matte partition I just created. So to create a simple matte pass now, I can just hide all the other objects. So select the background object partition and hit H. So everything is hidden for this pass except for the sphere. And again, what I'm doing is non-destructive to the scene. So we're not actually affecting anything in the scene, but only at the pass level, at the partition level. So if we go and we just switch back to our default pass, you can see we've got the beauty scene there and everything is the same. If we go and make element changes, we move the positions of things, and we switch passes, everything is dynamically updated. So this way, again, we're non-destructively isolating elements in the scene to create custom passes. Now that was a very simple example of how to create a custom pass. We're going to be looking at more in depth at production examples next.